Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 10th round of the GPVWC Superlights season here in 2025. We are really getting into the thick of it now. The midpoint comes and goes in the blink of an eye, and this time we head to what is arguably the greatest racetrack on planet Earth. That is right, up in the Ardennes circuit. De Spa Frank has shown 36 laps around this terrifying 7-kilometer circuit that is beloved by drivers and fans alike, and a circuit that today, possibly at the end of the race, may be seeing a little bit of rain to spice things up. We are hoping you're having a good time wherever you are watching around the world. You join myself, Ross McIntyre, with Fabian Jungbluth on the cameras, and the one, the only, Carlos Martin alongside me in the commentary box. Carlos, it's been a fascinating season so far, a very interesting race last time in Germany. What can we expect here at Spa?
Well, here we can expect a lot of fighting here. The DRS is extremely powerful. The slipstream is extremely powerful. So I would expect on the aggressive end. At the same time, you need to save the tires a bit to able to manage them properly. We could expect either a one-stop or a two-stop. Here I think there is a case for a two-stop, being the pit stop pretty short, and the one-stop as well, so you avoid at least the traffic. Although, as I mentioned, this should be fairly easy. Probably one of the qualifyings that will matter the least this season, in comparison to Silverstone, where the qualifying was a big part of the formula to win the race. I think here today, maybe who starts first is not leading by Lecombe.
Of course, that long run up the Kemmel Straight can create some chaos on the opening lap, and of course, the bomb down into last source, a very tricky hairpin to open the lap here. So plenty of things to think about going into this one. Just a quick update on tyres for you before we get started with our qualifying session here at Spa. It is middle of the road, C4s for the soft, C3s for the mediums, and C2s for the hard compound of tyre. So strategy may play a chance in this one. We'll have to wait and see. We are now underway in qualifying. First laps will be starting very, very shortly. So grab your popcorn and your can of Lando Norris Monster Energy that I know all you 15-year-old girls love, that sweet, sweet nectar of that man's drink. And we cannot wait to see what's going to happen here. Of course, 7 kilometers, very, very long lap round here, around about 1 minute 45, roughly off the top of my head will be the lap time. So you really want to make sure you time your runs right to not run out of time at the end of the session. Otherwise, you may not be able to get that final lap in. Norbert Jakab starts on his banker, the Hungarian for True North. Let's follow him around on board for a bit. Runs a little bit wider through La Source. You can get away with that. You don't have to clip the apex there. You can run about maybe up to 10 feet wide now through Eau Rouge Radion. Blink and you'll miss it. Of course, absolutely flat out in these cars nowadays at full chat. No need to panic. It's just a flick of the steering wheel. Try not to scrub off speed. Bit of push to pass will be being used down the Kemmel Straight before we get to Lecombe. Braking on the curb, and then this is a very tricky right-left. Make sure that you scrub off enough speed for the next right-hander, then bombing down into the Bruxelles hairpin. Very awkward corner this, as the car desperately wants to run wide off camber and going downhill. Now No Name, a quick flick through the left. You can eat a lot of curb there, and done so by your cab well as he makes his way now into Puom. Left-hander will be a little bit of a confidence lift through there, but in qualifying mode on low fuel, it'll still be going nearly 300 kilometers an hour through that corner. Now right and then left again to come into Stavolo and the final sector. Coming through here, the right-hander don't want to take too much curb there, either on the inside or the outside. And now blasting back up this slight incline, flat for the rest of the lap. We'll have to wait and see, of course, what the times are going to be saying. Purple sector 1, purple sector 2. That is to be expected from your cab. With private qualifying, as it says on our screen, that everyone does purple sectors on their opening lap, so we're not really going to see what the pace is like until everyone starts to cross the line. Bit squirrely through the bus stop there for the Hungarian, but gets to the shortest run to the line. Soriano on 43.1. Your cab goes less than 1/10 of a second away from that one, slots into second place as the rest of the lap times Looks like Soriano and Yakab are the early pace setters here. Let's follow Alexander Agotza as he finishes his opening lap. Once again, shortest run to the line away from the final corner. He'll go 18th for Gallery 82. Early doors then, Carlos. Looks like Soriano and Yakab not up the road, but with a pretty healthy advantage. It's only early doors in this qualifying session, though, so still plenty of time for things to change.
Yes, this track is very difficult to actually nail the lap, so we could expect the drivers to slowly improving over the session. The fastest lap time in the practice was by Norbert Jakab with a 1:42.9. So the drivers actually have some margin to improve their lap times. And another thing to note is that Norbert Jakab actually has higher top speed than most of the field, and he is faster in Sector 1 and Sector 3 compared to, for example, Soriano, who has a higher end for now in Sector 2. And we could see Jakab doing a mistake, going a bit wide in the chicane. So I think he has a lot of margin to improve, and I wouldn't be surprised if he sets a way faster lap time than what he currently has right now.
Absolutely, so plenty of time for drivers to improve. Again, as you said, Carlos, qualifying not absolutely crucial here, mainly due to that long Kemmel straight. You can make up a lot of positions going into Les Combes on the opening lap with a very good run out of La Source and maybe a bit of push to pass deployment as well, as Mirko Licini brings it to the line. Not using the line that they use in real world motorsport, the timing line actually at the start-finish line rather than a little bit earlier on, as you tend to see in real-world motorsport. Licini goes into P15, a purple final sector as well. So already, track definitely speeding up as he makes his way. He'll heading back to the pits. The Soltero now starts his opening lap. Decided to give it a bit of time before heading out onto the circuit. Did the Spaniard, the Brem GP #1 driver, already a race winner this season. Let's see what he has in his locker as he makes his way through Eau Rouge and Radion. Only really tricky through there when you're side by side with another car in a modern top-level Formula car like we do see here in GPVWC Superlights. Of course, round 10 of the season, 9 rounds done so far, and it has been an enthralling season all throughout. Many, many different winners, many drivers coming in and shocking us with wins on debut and the like. Ruva Machedi still leads the championship, but only by 4 points from Jose Soriano, 130 to 126 respectively. Rachetti, no points last time at Germany, and it is raining. Rain now falling here at Spa. That is a lot earlier than we thought we were going to be expecting, Carlos. Do you think that
it's going to be 3 minutes?
Chaos?
It's going to be 3 minutes. It's super low intensity. It's just like a cloud that is hitting the track right now. I don't even think this should affect the drivers, to be honest. And we probably see a good half a second from Soltero. I don't know if he did a mistake or it's actually the rain. Rain intensity is not really high at the moment, and it should stop within 4 minutes. It's very, 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 very small, and it should be almost already stopping. And for it's just the wind changing. It should be already finished by this time. So Soltero got a bit unlucky maybe with the timing, and maybe he just can set another lap. As we see Mike Quinn just closing a lap right now in P14 for the Lunac driver, and we probably see track improvement from now until the end. I don't see more raindrops right now, although I might there is still some raindrops. We will see Tom van der Voort losing 8/10 Sector 1. It would be crucial to see how the others are developing. Soriano is not improving Sector 1. Norbert Jakab is neither improving Sector 1, but there are just like a few thousands of the pace. Normally this rain is not too heavy to actually affect too much to these vehicles right now.
Yeah, maybe a bit more of the mental rain effect, as it's not raining hard, but you still see the rain out there in the sky, and you just back off a little bit as Van der Voort gets all sorts of sideways at the bottom end of the circuit at Stavolo. Manages to get it right and then ultimately does keep moving, but that will cost him a fair time on the run up to Blanchimont, which he does head through now. As I was saying before the rain came in, yeah, very, very close championship standings after Machete and Osho last time at the Nürburgring. Norbert Jakab currently third place. He's on 99 points, so a little further back. Rumenbill's been swirling recently about Reuven Machete. Apparently unhappy at Optiminal at the moment. There was a bit of a disagreement with the managers of the Optiminal team, supposedly. Again, it's all rumours, so we have to ask him.
That's cap.
I mean, yeah, Carlos saying he completely disagrees, but yeah, I have to mention it. The rumour mill in GPVWC sometimes gets a little bit out of hand, but yeah, it could be something to ask him. He's certainly sticking with the team for this one, though. Currently sitting P4 is our championship leader, but his main rival sitting on top of the standings by just over half a tenth of a second, as it's 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go on the clock, starting already to get to the dying end of this qualifying session. Chris Butcher driving for Luna this week, or this evening, should I say. He'll bring it across the line now, and he'll go up into 25th, 47.131 for Butcher, so lots of time to make up there. I think there may have been a mistake somewhere out on the lap for him.
Even though the weather app tells me it should not be raining, it is still raining. That could be why there is not much margin, and if it keeps like that, drivers will not be able to improve at all, and probably, yeah, we can see here Cas Rietveld even sliding in the outlap. Yeah, so this is might be set, but maybe with the last attempt, it could be better, maybe. But right now, 0% rain intensity. I can confirm this just happened right now. Rain stopped right now. And let's see if the track evolves just enough to actually improve the lap times that we currently have in the timesheets.
Well, still tricky though out there as Cas Rietveld goes off the road at campus. Luckily, this is an outlap, so not going to affect him too much. But if he's that, I think looking at the time, this will be Rietveld's last attempt as well, because I don't think he'll have time to make it to the pits. Whack a fresh set of tyres on, make it back out after this lap.
He can pit now. He can pit without starting the lap and go with fresh tyres if he feels.
Yeah, he can, as he slid wide there as well. So let's see what he's going to do. Yeah, he is going to do that.
There you go.
Yeah, I think he may have cooked that set of tyres just a little bit too much after running wide a couple of times and getting a bit sideways. So Rietveld will stick on a fresh set of the C4 compound and head back out for his final attempt. This will be Van der Voort's final attempt as well, as he heads through Eau Rouge, climbing up the hill to Radion. So much steeper for the drivers than it looks on our cameras. Sometimes you actually, when you're going up there with a visor on, you can't actually see the road at all. You just see sky and trees as you come up to the top of Radion before it rights itself. And braking into Lake Com. All looks pretty tidy so far for the drag racing driver, making his way through the right-hander there. It did look tidy as he power slides there now through Bruxelles again, Carlos. I know it was only light rain, but I think it's causing a few drivers to struggle, because since that rain came in, a lot of people running wide, a lot of people getting sideways. It's still tricky conditions out there.
Yeah, it looks we underestimated the power of the rain, and yeah, it's basically just making it way worse for the drivers. So it's basically over. It is again raining, even though the radar tells to me that there shouldn't be any, but it's still raining. So yeah, I think this is over basically.
Well, we'll wait and see if anyone's got anything special in their locker. Van der Voort is still improving on this lap, massively down in the middle sector. I think that's what really is going to separate the top of the grid from everybody else, is that time through there against Spa. The first and third sector so fast. It's all about momentum and how much speed you can get. The middle sector quite tricky, need a lot of downforce. You need that grip to be there. So it's kind of a will they, won't they with the setup. As Van der Voort now comes to the line, does improve up to 25th. And will have time. If he pushes on this lap, he can do another one, but he won't have time to come back to the pits and go again. So he's got to push again if he decides to do so. We'll wait and see. Cas Rietveld now back on his out lap. As I'm not sure if everyone else, Soriano isn't out on the circuit, so Soriano doesn't think he's got to improve. So the pole sitter is sat in the pit lane, Your Cab, Mitchell, Machete, Smith all out, so seconds and fifth are out. So they could be causing an update if they're able to improve. Your Cab's on his out lap now. He will make it to the line in time as he comes through the middle sector. So Soriano stays in the pits. Is that a smart decision to save the engine, save a set of tyres, not risk a crash? Or has he just made a tactical blunder? Is there time out there for the likes of Norbert Yakab, for the likes of Luke Mitchell to find? He's done an excellent job to get that Kings Racing car into third place early doors in this session, may I add. And it was bizarre. We're expecting rain, a little bit of rain right at the end of the race. But in qualifying, it could have been deciding it. It could have very well have been that the banker lap turned into the crucial lap as well. As with 35 seconds left on the clock, Yakab has got plenty of time to cross the line and go round once more. So this is the lap that all the eyes of the paddock are going to be on right now. As you can see, there is still rain falling heading into La Source. So the weather radar's lying to us. Yakab, yep, not worth it. Yakab has decided the rain is too heavy. He's not going to go again. Luke Mitchell, does he have anything in his locker? Has he got the guts? Can he find any sort of grip as he crawls around La Source? And yeah, he's abandoned it as well. It's raining heavy in Al Carlos. It's turned into the fact that the banker lap is the one that could be putting Jose Soriano on pole.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this was completely unexpected. I am gutted because I'm still checking the radar, and it might be the wind which is bringing these drops of water, because the radar says that the track it shouldn't be rain, but yeah, it is raining. And the question right now is, do the drivers need to start on intermediates? Do they need to start on these dry tires? It's a big question mark.
Yeah, could be a very, very interesting warm-up for this race. We don't often see everyone coming out for the warm-up, but coming into this one, man, oh man, oh man, this could be interesting. Drivers going to be testing to see what the tyres are like, what they can do. Oh my goodness me, suddenly we potentially have a chaotic start to this race on our hands, so we'll have to wait and see how it's all going to unfold, as Federico Russo has gone 2 seconds slower in the first sector. Checkered flag is out anyway. I don't think he made it to the line in time, so I'm not sure if this lap will count, but even if it does count, there's no point because the pace is miles off. The rain has come in quick and fast, and it didn't look that heavy, but it caused chaos, and that is what happens here at Spa. It's what happens in the Ardennes. The weather, it's got a mind of its own, and the clouds can just form from out of nowhere and bring down chaos on this circuit, and it's part of what makes it so, so special, is you never know what kind of weather the racing gods are going to send your way. It will be then Jose Soriano on pole in a ultimately very anticlimactic qualifying session, as the rain caused a bit of an upset there with Norbert Yakab P2. Luke Mitchell in P3 for Kings Racing though. How about that from him? A fantastic lap. Puts him on the second row, just in front of our championship leader, Ruben Machete, as Russo does duck out of that lap. Harry Smith will be starting fifth with Federico Russo, who we see there starting in P6. Great qualifying for him as well. Philip Pushka will be starting in P7 with Oscar Soltero starting 8th, leading the Brem GP effort. Zolt Sooks now in the second optimal car. He'll start 9th, and James Knox for Fusion Racing starting in P10. Further down the grid, Lucas Murno making the switch over to True North Motorsport from Fusion Racing. He starts 11th with Robin Merling, should I say, in P12. Istvan Singal is 13th with Mike Quint in P14. Agustin Canapino, the Argentine, starts 15th before a KV86 16th and 17th. Patrico Magnussen ahead of Amari Watson. Great to see Amari with us this evening. Mirko Licini starts 18th with Daniel Scott in 19th, and Dominik Koroshavin, the Ukrainian, rounds out our top 20 drivers here. 21st will be David Krupa with Maxime Bulio in 22nd. Alexander Agota 23rd with Kurt Rotyarv in 24th. Chris Butcher 25th with Tom van der Voort 26th, and some way off the pace. And then 3 drivers who didn't set a lap: Cass Rietveld, Jack Nichols and Matthias Canapino. Jack Nichols stepping in this evening for Scott Mitchell-Marm. When Mitchell-Marm returns, he has a 5-place grid penalty awaiting him So that may have been a tactical decision to put Nichols in the car by Kings Racing this evening. But that is it then, our grid. 29 drivers there as it stands. We'll wait to see if we get the full 30. Not quite sure who we're missing at a glance, but I'm sure we can figure it out. But yeah, a bit of an anticlimactic qualifying session then, Carlos. But you can see the drivers lining up to get out there for the warm-up. They are desperate to know what the conditions are currently like.
Yeah, and I'm checking the radar. It's so messy. It's completely unpredictable. Luckily, F1 engineers, they have better data than what we have, and they still do big mistakes. But it's so difficult to actually judge what is the best situation. So yeah, I checked 4 different radars. They all contradict each other. So roll the dice, I guess. We're not racing in Las Vegas, but apparently we are tonight.
Yeah, get your gambling sticks ready. It's anyone's guess. We could be in for an absolute barnstormer this evening here at Spa. Hello and welcome. If you are just joining us for the 10th round of the 2025 GPVWC Superlights season, and well, you've missed an anticlimactic qualifying, yes, but one that was pure chaos nonetheless, as unexpected rain fell early doors. And even though it was light, the banker laps ended up becoming the lap times that would decide our grid. So a few drivers out of position, a few drivers with fantastic bankers getting way up the order. And now the drivers all heading out into the warm-up to try and discern what is going to be the right tyre to start on. Is it the slicks or is it the intermediates? Are we going to see anybody gamble? What is the Sky going to do here in the Ardennes? Anybody's guess going forward. Now then, it is time, of course, to talk about one of our teams, as we do this season here in Superlights and during the warm-up sessions. And the team that we're going to be talking about today, I believe it is Drake Racing, with Tom van der Voort and Philip Pushka at the wheel for this season. And, well, it's been a good season for Drake Racing. It was last year as well. David Fidok came in, won a couple of races for the squad. This year, race wins eluding them. Philip Pushka's been on the podium a handful of times, but just hasn't been quite able to get onto the top step. But still, it has been a year of progress for the Welsh squad, as Tom van der Voort continues to improve as well. But nonetheless, still hunting that first win this season. Pushka, a little bit of a disappointing qualifying session for him down in P8. But it is a bit crazy here. Yeah, a bit crazy here at Spa at the moment, and it can be a bit crazy on the opening lap as well, so we'll have to wait and see how it's going to unfold. And they do, according to our sheets, have a pretty upgraded car as well. Looks like on the numbers alone, I think it's the oh no, actually it's maybe not the 5th best car, it's actually a little bit worse than that, just reading through. So actually, in terms of car, Pushka's out driving it on performance alone at the moment, but still, it has been a good season for them. But Carlos just desperately wanting that first win, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he has the talent to actually match that, and he is he's very knowledgeable. I mean, he won a Super League Championship. Of course, he has it, right? Looking at the upgrades, Drake especially has a very good pit crew. So I would say, like, this even shows even further how good Pushka is doing so far, because there are other teams which developed a bit less the pit crew, and they have a more developed car. So yeah, I mean, the pit crew will matter a lot for tracks where, for example, Singapore or Hungaroring, which is the one that comes after this one, which track position is absolutely key, right? Whereas this track, probably they are more in the suffering end. But well, you can always stick to somebody's DRS, try to save your tires like Pushka was doing in Germany with the soft tire at the end of the stint, trying to go for a move on Lucas Murno and take really good points. So yeah, you cannot discard them. It's yeah, it's a pretty balanced car. So yeah, I would say it will have their own opportunities, even though they are slightly underdeveloped.
Yeah, absolutely. So they will have their chances. They just need to push onwards. But still, a few podiums this year and some decent points as well for the team. It has not been a bad year by any means for Drake Racing. I think they're just desperate to get up onto the top step of the podium. As we push onwards through this warm-up session, looks like everyone running these slicks at the moment. Russo with the current fastest time in the session. A few drivers yet to settle up and are doing so now. So it looks like as it stands, Carlos, we are going to be starting on slicks. Again, though, we weren't expecting that rain in qualifying at all. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what the weather gods are going to send our way here in Spa? Of course, one of the most famous circuits in the world. One of the biggest circuits, actually the biggest circuit, should I say, that we have on the calendar. At just a touch over 7 kilometers. Of course, a lot smaller than it used to be back in the day, but still very, very long, very, very tricky for the drivers. A circuit that's changed profile of cars, have got quicker and quicker as well. It used to be a real test of bravery around here, and it really did separate the best from everybody else. Nowadays, it's so technical. It's all about how much momentum, how much speed can you keep in the fast bits, and then can you keep the car on the road in the slower middle sector as well. As look at that camera angle coming up Radion. That was absolutely monstrous there from the back of one of the True North cars. It just goes to show how steep Eau Rouge is. That can be a bit chaotic on lap number 1, so we'll wait and see how it's going to unfold. Carlos, if we stay dry, what do you think the optimum strategy is here? 36 laps, middle of the road in tyres. We thinking one stop maybe?
I don't know. I think one stop is conservative. In paper, if this was Silverstone, it would be a one stop. Here, I think the chance to do a two stop is very likely. I think it's more likely to do one stop if you are starting out of the top 15. That you start on a medium, you start on a hard, and then you you can actually make it easier and faster. When you're starting in the top 15, I think you can do a very aggressive approach, even with soft, medium, medium, soft, medium, soft. Those approaches are very nice. Soft, medium, medium allows you to push the tires very hard, even though it's a short race. The pit lane is one of the shortest of the calendar as well, so I think that plays into part as well. And I think we will see mostly a two-stop, and some of the drivers that are further behind and with more to gamble will try a one-stop. Although, must be mentioned, with the rain, it's if the rain hits early, you want to be in the one-stop, right? If the rain hits a bit late, it can be. It depends on the moment. It's better for a two-stop or it's better for a one-stop. So everything will come down to which moment the rain comes, if it comes.
Absolutely. Yeah, if it comes. I mean, we are still expecting a little bit at the end of the race at the moment, but who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. 1 minute and 50 left in this qualifying session. And not long left to go now. I am going to have to correct myself because I've had a frantic message off of the man who I mistakenly said drove for Drake Racing earlier. David Fardock, in fact, did not race for Drake Racing last year. He raced for True North and picked up the wins there. So I'm clearly just an idiot and can't remember who people drive for. But to be fair, the GPVWC website is down, so I couldn't check the stats in the table sheet. It serves me right, I guess, for relying on website and not taking my own notes. But you know, I'm a busy man. I have things to do. I spent the entire
Ross,
day.
don't worry. It's, you know what people can do, and this is a very funny thing. And even though GPVWC Day hasn't been announced yet, I encourage people to be very interested in it, because one of the things we do in GPVWC Day is this quiz. And if people actually think that they know more than those silly brokers that are just yapping over the Superlights stream, hey, I encourage everyone to come to GPVWC Day to see who wins the quiz. And so let's see, because it's not the same when you do it under pressure than when you do it like from the comfort of your PC and typing, oh, this caster doesn't know much, actually, you know. But yeah, at the end of the day, GPVWC Day is, I think, the highlight of the year, even though, yeah, the important thing is the racing, but I would say, for me, it's the highlight of the year.
It absolutely is. I mean, I'm not saying that David was going, oh, actually, no, he absolutely
No,
wasn't.
I never meant that. I never meant that.
Absolutely. Well, as the checkered flag comes out in the warm session, definitely do come to GPVWC Day. GPVWC Day 2025. Grimsby is calling, and we can't wait. That's a joke. We haven't actually announced where it's going to be yet. I don't think anybody knows yet, to be honest. But it was great last year. It was great the year before. I'm sure it's going to be great this year as well. And we can all get together at some point at the end of the season and celebrate another successful year. And so do please keep your eye on the Discord, on the GPVWC Day channel to see what's going on there, where we all need to be booking our hotels and our flights. And you can find out how much it costs for beer, so you know how much money you're going to waste as well. And of course, if this is your first time watching GPVWC Superlights, first of all, hope you're enjoying the show so far. And make sure you head down to the description, head to the Discord, following the link down there from the live stream description to come into the chat and see what we're all about. And if you fancy giving it a go yourself, I would tell you to head to the website as well to find out a bit more there, but it is currently down, unfortunately. But just remember tomorrow, www.gpvwc.com. I think the old one, the old link down in the description is still dead, actually. I don't think it works anymore. But either way, the website's down, so leave it for now. But yeah, check your flag out in the warm session. Machete is quickest by 0.7 of a second, but again, we can't really read too much into that at the moment, as there's a car there on the start-finish line without a front right-hand side, but luckily it's the warm-up and it doesn't matter. Just seen as well in the live stream chat, Loic Moynier's come through that said he's got 4 different weather radars up for this race, and they are all saying different things in regards to the weather. So I think, Carlos, it's not just us playing the guessing game of what's going on. I think all of the teams out there also just at the complete mercy of the racing gods tonight. And it could very well be just who takes a lucky gamble on the weather, who gets it right, who's in the right place at the right time, if it is going to rain, because I don't think anyone has any idea. It's either going to be chaos or it's going to be dry the entire race, single file DRS train, nothing ever happens, we should all go home now. It's going to be one of those two. Hopefully it's the former, but we'll wait and see. As we're getting ready for this race, Carlos, obviously, if we're looking at it now and it's staying dry and ignoring the chaos that might come from the rain, what are your predictions heading into this one?
Chaos, absolute chaos, madness. I think it's clear that everyone has to start on the dry compound. If someone starts on the intermediate or the full wet, and it starts raining lap 3, I will shut down my microphone. I will leave my room, and I will just try to cry in a corner, because it's impossible to predict anything. The radar says no more rain the next 35 minutes, and whenever it happens, it should be almost nothing. And same goes for until the end of the race. But let's see. For now, I think it doesn't really matter who did pole. It will matter the most that the drivers try to not have their cars damaged in the early action. It's gonna be 3 wide, maybe 4 wide, heading into Le Combe. My bet for tonight, probably it's going to be Norvegia Cup, because the pace in practice looked very well. And let's see if he can actually pull it again like he did in Silverstone and make it 2 in a row, despite the fact he didn't race the last Grand Prix.
Well, Norvegia Cup is a very good shout, of course, very high up in the drivers' standings at the moment. But again, if it's going to be chaos, it quite frankly could be any of the 30 drivers we've got out there tonight, as Victor Borley has joined in after qualifying. He'll be starting from the back of the grid. And if it is chaos, we got to pick a chaotic driver. We got to pick someone random to go on top, and there's one man that it's got to be. Let's see if Unk still got it. Amari Watson, you are winning in GPVWC Superlights tonight, and I will bet 50p on that, and someone can hold that. I will PayPal someone 50p if genuinely if Amari doesn't win tonight, because I don't know. I'm just losing my mind here, quite frankly. Anyway,
I think it's the day you should not bet against anyone.
That is true. Yeah, don't bet on anything. Gambling is bad unless you're like me, and don't bet but still predict who's going to win darts games. And all your friends who bet on darts are amazed that you get it right every single time, because I'm amazing like that. Right then, formation lap is underway here at Spa, getting ready to start the 10th round of the season, and it is all dry tyres across the grid. So the track has cleaned itself up and sorted itself out now. And let's see what we're going to be expecting coming into this one as they make their way up Eau Rouge, and ready on it will be Jose Soriano. The Spaniard starts on pole with Norbert Jakob alongside Luke Mitchell. A fantastic third place for the Kings Racing driver as championship leader Ruben Machete starts in 4th. Harry Smith is 5th with Federico Russo in P6. Philip Puschke, the German, starts in 7th place alongside Oscar Soltero, the only driver for Brem who managed to put in a lap time. Zolt Suk starts 9th for Optimal, with James Knox rounding out the top 10. Lucas Murno for True North now. He starts 11th, Robin Merling alongside in P12. Istvan Singal is 13th with Mike Quint 14th. Agustin Canapino starts behind his teammate in 15th with Patrick Magnussen in P16. And then followed immediately by the other KV86 powerhouse of Amari Watson, our eventual race winner tonight, with Mirko Lacini alongside. Daniel Scott is 19th, and the Ukrainian driver Dominik Koroshavin, he rounds out our top 20. David Krupa is 21st with Maxime Bielio in 22nd. Alexander Ragota is 23rd with Kurt Rotyard forming an all Gallery 82 row 12. Chris Butcher is 25th with Tom van der Voort in 26th, and a whole host of drivers who did set lap times. Cass Rietveld 27th, Jack Nichols in 28th. And in our final two drivers on the grid, Matthias Canapino 29th, Victor Borley is 30th, possibly starting from the pit lane, but I don't think he will be as we get ready for this one. Right then, Carlos, I guess now the order of play is survive the run up to Lacombe on lap number 1, then find your rhythm, then hope it doesn't rain, or hope it does rain if you want it to rain, I guess.
Yeah, you know what's funny? You told me what's my prediction for the race win, but we didn't hear your race winner prediction for tonight.
Did you not hear it? Do you want me to say it again? Do you want me to say it again? Do you want me to say that Amari Watson is winning tonight here in Spa? GPVWC, and I will bet 50 pence on that one, because Unk has still got it, and Unk is going to the top, baby. Right, let's let's actually focus on the action before us, shall we? Because Amari Watson very may well win this race with all the chaos that's happening, as Borley will be starting from the pit lane. But there are plenty of other fantastic drivers out there on this grid that are in with an equal shot. Matthias Canapino will be the final driver on our grid. The Argentine, the younger brother of Augustin, the former IndyCar driver who's also on the grid with us tonight. As there is our pole man, Jose Soriano. Tonight could be the night he takes the championship lead. Can the Spaniard keep his cool here in the Ardennes, as we wait for those 5 red lights that we all know and love to come on at the top of your picture? It is lights out, and we are underway here at Spa. Good start there for Soriano. Poor getaway for Jakob. He'll drop down a few places as Soriano holds on to the lead. I think Jakob will just hold about to 2nd place with the run out of La Source, as they're already trying to fan 3 wide. Machete holding on to that P4, 3 wide, 2 wide, coming into Eau Rouge for the first time. Soltero gets in front of Philip Puschke, knocks a bit of a disappointing start there, and then out bomb down the Kemmel Straight. This is where you make your money early doors in the races. They're already trying to break the toe. Yellow flags out in sector 1 as they all fan across the straight. Is anyone close enough, anyone brave enough to make a move? I don't think so. The top 5 are all in order. Daniel Scott making progress there for Rookie Monsters, and a move maybe being made in front as well. But up in the top 5, Soriano, Jakob, Mitchell, Machete, Smith, all where they started. So pretty boring from the front running guys, all status quo. But it's still early doors in this race. Soriano already trying to bolt away as Mike Quint gets together. That looked to be with Mirko Lacini there, and there's all squabbling for position as they come into Pouon for the first time. but still we run clean. Maxime Beaulieu has dropped out of the race, so that would have been the yellow flags in Sector 1. Must have been an accident for them. A real shame for the Canadian, out before tonight's affair really got started. Up the front though, Soriano is already almost out of DRS range of Yakab himself, almost out of DRS range from Mitchell, who himself is out of DRS range from Machete. So the top three already, Carlos Martin, trying to bolt away at the front of the pack.
Yeah, this is one of the strategies you can do. DRS is very powerful, so you don't really want to get out, you don't really want to lose it. And here we could see Norbert Jakab, he cut down the gap 4 tenths with Soriano in the sector 3. So yeah, Jakab using a bit of push to pass, and Soriano actually had a pretty comfortable lead exiting turn 1. So that basically means that yeah, nobody else had really the chance to actually attack him. And we can see what is happening here right now. Besides the 3 on the lead, it's Machete against everyone else who has behind. And we can see actually Norbert Jakab going for the lead, just doing the move into the Lecom, just easy pass just before the braking zone on Soriano. And this is how powerful the DRS is. And we see the same for Federico Russo, just doing the move on Harry Smith into Lecom. The Netrex being one of the slowest cars on the straight tonight. So yeah, that might come into play maybe now that the tires are new and they're not scrapping, but maybe it comes in handy later on into the stint.
Maybe, but for the time being, both Netrex cars losing a position into Lecom on lap number 2. Yakab now leads from Soriano, from Luke Mitchell with Machete, and now Federico Russo 4th and 5th place as it stands. Just an official update for you. Had a message from Chris Williams, one of the management team here at GPVWC, one of our race directors. He says, according to his radar, there is rain north of the circuit, and it is likely that it will hit. It's quite light, but we just don't know when. So again, nobody has a clue what's going on. Not us here in the commentary box, not the teams, not the drivers, not even GPVWC management know what the weather is doing. That is the chaos that we're dealing with today in terms of the wet stuff that falls out of the sky. So it may pass the circuit completely as well. We just simply do not know as we start the 3rd lap of the contest. Oscar Soltero up to 7th place now for Brem GP, making some good progress. If we finish as we do, if we finish the race as we currently stand, Jose Soriano would take the championship lead by a handful of points away from Ruben Machete. So Machete, if he wants to hold on to that championship lead after this one, does need to get a bit of a shift on, move forward into the podium places, and Soltero was 7th, make that P6 surely as he draws alongside Harry Smith, who's been going backwards in this race, and yet gets it done until Acom. Smith concedes the position, and that is now P6 for the race winner this season and the leading Brem GP car. We've had a whole host of DNFs in the last couple of laps. We lost Beaulieu on the first lap. We've now also lost Cass Rietveld, Jack Nichols, and Zolt Schukes as well. So hopefully we can get some replays a little bit later on of what's happened there.
That's important for championship implications. That Joel Schukes, in his debut for Optiminal, he just DNFs, and so now Optiminal only has 1 car on track to score points, because there are 2 championships. There is the driver championship and there is the constructor championships, currently led by Optiminal Esports, and Netrex and True North are trailing to get that first place. So the fact that Zolt Schukes is out of the race is such a big thing.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge, to be fair. And of course, Schukes was starting a bit further down the order than his teammate, but that means his teammate out there alone. The likes of Netrex, both cars up there. Meanwhile, Yakab leading the other True North car a bit further down the field. Lucas Murno is currently 10th, but his opponents do have teammates out there that can assist them, can act as a second gunner almost, can try and undercut to upset your race and help out their teammate. Machete's got to do it alone, and Optiminal, that could really put them in a bad spot in the constructors race as well. Lucas Murno looks like he could be setting up a move here down the Kemmel Straight. He's tailing James Knox, who took the seat that he departed at Fusion Racing a few rounds ago. And Lucas Murno now trying to rub salt into the wound of Fusion as he gets the DRS, uses a bit of push to pass. There's some moves up in front as well, I believe, as Pushka gets ahead of Harry Smith. Lucas Murno also gets ahead there of James Knox. Oscar Soltero all over the back of Federico Russo as well. Soltero got a lot of pace on board at the moment and couldn't quite get it done coming out of the Kemmel Straight, but Soltero, I think, is probably one of the fastest guys. Yeah, he's the best lap so far, is one of the second best lap of the session. His lap last time was also his best lap, and he was fastest driver on the circuit by about 0.2 of a second. So in this phase of the race, in this phase of the stint, Oscar Soltero, the man to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's pretty far away from the lead right now, and it's important. I mean, he's 4.6 seconds behind the lead, and this is a lot of ground to recover. And while you need to do these overtakes, yeah, of course, this costs you a lot of time. So, and a lot of push to pass as well. We can see how Federico Russo is being very defensive now, and Oscar Soltero probably doesn't want to do the overtake now because it just, the bigger DRS zone is later, and if you want to secure it, you just need to wait behind, and this opens up the opportunity to Pushka to just get there. And by just staying behind, you lose so much. He lost 1 second only in sector 3 by just staying behind Russo, and we can see everyone in the group just caught them. Yeah, this is not the ideal if he wants to charge for a race win or even a podium position tonight.
Absolutely, Soltero is right behind Russo now.
And Russo's defending.
Russo is defending to the inside, tried to break the toe. He'll be using the push to pass as well, but Oscar Soltero, should I say, just too much pace, too much momentum, slides on by 5th place, a nice and easy overtake. Top 3 have all started to bunch up together now, so you can, and Mitchell actually has got past Jose Soriano as well in all of that chaos. So Luke Mitchell is up to 2nd for Kings Racing. What a race that man is having there. Unbelievable for Mitchell. Not just fighting for podium places, potentially fighting for the win early doors here. So these guys all massively closing up. I do wonder if you can maybe trying to hold a bit of tyre life in those tyres, because he did bolt away at the end of the first lap. That gap's now come back down just under a second, or just over a second. Mitchell's there or thereabouts in DRS. Meanwhile, Machete over 2 seconds back in P4. If he finishes, we do currently, I think that Machete still has the championship lead. Keyword think. Again, it's quite hard to tell, and if you've been watching GPVWC Superlights across this season and last year, you'll know that I have the mathematical ability of a brick, so I can't even add up simple numbers. But we'll just have to wait and see what it's going to be at the end of it all. Lap 6 of 36 now here at Spa-Francorchamps. Still no rain yet, but those grey clouds looming overhead have got to be casting a bit of fear, a bit of doubt into the driver's minds, and just thinking, when is it going to rain? Does some of them have radar saying, try and hold these tyres out for as long as you can, because the rain's going to fall just outside of our pit window? Have to wait and see. Russo now with a big run on Soltero, or is no, that's in fact Philip Pushka getting through Federico Russo. So Russo down to 7th, the German up into 6th place. And a nice little run there for the racing driver. Augustin Canapino's in the wall down the Kemmel Straight. What on earth has happened there for the Argentine? He's met the barrier on the Kemmel Straight. We saw his brother do a similar thing in Canada. Let's see what's happened to Augustin here as he comes onto the Kemmel. Is there contact? He swings to the inside. Oh, he's just run off the road. What on earth is that?
Was it Patrick? I think it was Patrick.
I think it was Patrick. Let's wait and find out. I mean, it somehow didn't hit the barrier or anyone and only lost 1 position. Draws alongside and yeah, just goes round. What on earth? Wow, that's one way to defend, I suppose. I think that one will be going to the DZ afterwards. And here is the chaotic rejoin, and ended up losing another position in the process, I believe. Or was there more contact a little bit further down the road? Maybe a bit of wheel to side pod action, but dropped another place down to P15 at the end. One of the Fusion guys nearly met the wall. Here's what happened to Maxime Bulio on the opening lap. Our first DNF. Coming on.
Oh, he got clipped behind from the Gallery 82, and then another again.
That would be why
Bicycle-
Jack Nicholls is out then, because that was a King's
Yeah.
racing car that hit the back of them and absolutely obliterated the rear end of that Fusion racing car. So Jack Nicholls, that's why he'll be out. Here's what happened to Cas Rietveld. He's coming into the bus stop now. Again, this is all very early doors in this race that we're currently watching. Oh, just
God.
gets obliterated from behind. Right, well, apparently we've got a couple of drivers tonight that have forgotten what the concept of a brake pedal is.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a
that
real
was
shame for
not
Cas
okay.
Rietveld. His hot suits. What's happened here? Coming into... Oh, it's died.
Oh,
Oh, that's really interesting. Can we see the steering wheel? Is that an engine shut-off, or is that... Yeah,
did he select neutral?
no, he's coming...
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Yep.
So...
And when you do that, you just need to keep on neutral until you slow down. So you are fast enough to just select first gear. And if you select it fast, you just kill the engine. Yep.
Easy mistake to make, but one with race-ending connotations. Real shame there for Zoltzuks, as David Krupa has spun out a no-name and met the barrier in all of this as well and lost his front wing, and looks like he's got some suspension damage on that as well. I think he's still in the race. Mike Quint's dropped back to 25th, so has he met the barrier as well? Yes, he has, coming out of campus. Just a little kiss into the tyre barrier, and another one, and has lost the front left as well, so that'll be race over for the Lunark driver. Here's Kurt Rotjov. Oh my goodness, anyone else want to have an accident while we're here? What's happened to him coming through? Put on, rear starts to go. Just a lazy spin. Does he kiss the barrier? Yes, ever so slightly with the rear end. Obviously in real life, that'd be a broken gearbox. I think we can get away with that one here in our Factor 2, our esteemed simulator of choice. So a whole host of DNFs to keep your eye on there then. And yeah, so it must... Who hit the back of Cas Rietveld then and all of that chaos? Was that David Krupa that hit the back of Rietveld?
No. It was the other Canapino. It was Matthias. Matthias,
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
It was
well,
Matthias.
there we go.
And it's something very interesting. Ruben Mechede is starting to lap faster than the group in front here. And it's very curious because Soriano and Mitchell are pretty close to Norbert Jakob. So question here right now is Norbert Jakob starting to struggle with the tires right now? And that's why Ruben Mechede is pretty close, and now Soriano is just like very close to them as well. So it looks like the Hungarian driver is starting to struggle, and now Ruben is catching up.
Yeah, so that could be something to keep our eyes on as well. This three-way fight for the lead could shortly be becoming a four-way fight for the lead, because the German is really on it at the moment as the soft tyres begin to drop off on lap 8 of 36. As the chaos unfolds behind the leaders in front, we've got a very, very interesting battle brewing. Everybody in the top 15 on the softs, apart from...
First pit stop!
Coming in, Luke Mitchell, first of our leaders to make the jump and come in. That is a little bit earlier than I thought we were expecting. Let's stay on board, see what tyres he's going to go onto as he locks up coming into the box. He's probably just broken the legs of about 3 virtual mechanics there. Is that another set of soft, or are we waiting for that to update? Let's wait and see what it's going to be. Because if it is another set of softs, he has just committed himself to at least a 2-stopper, which I'm not sure if that's the way to go, unless King's Racing knows something that we don't as he makes his way out. But
Maybe
he'll be in 17 there. So, and he's come out right in traffic as well, or just in front of the traffic. So actually he's played that quite nicely, to be fair. A couple of cars in front, but nothing too bad. I wonder if that is a gamble, or if that is something that he's just trying, if that was planned and they know what they're doing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you get only one driver and you are able to do what I call it the wind tunnel thingy, as we see an update, he is on medium tires, so for sure he's not going to the end. He's going for a 2-stopper, and when you do this wind tunnel technique, you basically are taking advantage of overtaking in sector 1, and you have a clean air in sector 2. But if you're not able to have clean air in sector 2 after you overtake, it's not great. It's not great, and the position he is right now, he's just right behind Koroshavin, and probably will try to make the move ASP, because you don't really want to be there. You are losing time, and I think whoever pits now is just condemning their own race to torture, to be honest. And we can see how Soriano is also closing. He was out of DRS from Norbert Jakob and now currently has DRS again. So it's also very important, track position before the pitting window. You want to be P1 when you enter into the pit window, and I think Soriano is gonna try now an overtake.
Well, as they come to the top of Radion, bit of lap traffic in front as well that won't give the DRS to Jakob. But Soriano very, very close. He'll be using that push to pass as well. Pulls out now, does the dummy. As Soriano, or Jakob defends to the inside, should I say. Soriano sails on by. And the Spaniard back to the lead of the race as Jakob maybe struggling with those front tyres just a little bit, because it looks like that True North car is understeering very heavily, as I believe. Get lap traffic getting out of the way there. That is very kind of them. And now, can Soriano bolt away into the distance, already breaking the DRS of Jakob, but that's due to maybe that traffic just a little bit and a slight mistake from Jakob. So we'll wait and see what the pace is going to be like. But I wonder if Jakob's
He's completely out of DRS. Yeah, he's completely out.
Yeah, I wonder if he's pushed the tyres a little bit too hard, too early doors. I wonder if that's what's happened with Luke Mitchell as well. I wonder if maybe Kings weren't expecting to be starting third, had a strategy that would have worked for a midfield team to make up some places, but in the fight for the front of the race, they've just gone, we'll just run with a two-stopper anyway. Oh, it's anyone's guess what is happening here at Spa, and the rain still hasn't hit yet as well. No one knows when that's going to be coming in as well. So we'll wait and see, heading on to lap 11 very, very shortly. Soriano, Jakob, Machete, now your top three. Does Jakob dive in? Yes, he does. Norbert Jakob, the Hungarian. I was thinking his tyres seemed a little bit shot. The front end of the car was just pushing a bit through the corners. So now our second of our front runners comes into the pits, Carlos. On lap 11, can he make that a one-stop if he goes on the hards?
No. Too early. Too early. This is a two-stop. The question here is, if he actually crossed the white line of the pit lane, it was very, very close. It looks like it was a last moment decision to actually go for the pits, and he lands on traffic. I mean, maybe not this lap, and it's crucial for Norbert to actually keep this position. He cannot land behind Koroshavin right now, and he will probably use push to pass now to defend. This is key for the race victory. Koroshavin goes for the outside, Norbert Jakob goes for the inside. He doesn't have DRS right now. Who will have the position at Lecombe? I think Koroshavin just gave up. He completely gave up the position. Oh, wow. Oh, we have another car crash. Pushka's out. Pushka's out of the race. He crashed in Lecombe, probably with the tires being very worn. And we will see a replay now of the incident of the German driver heading into Lecombe. First apex, second apex. Oh no! We have the no. This was, I think, the lap car, right? From Gallery 82.
I believe it is one of the Gallery 82. Yeah, Kurt Rotjav, who came back in the dirty air, ran wide when tried to avoid the sausage curbs, then gave it a welly full and spun back onto the circuit. And that kind of just sums up Philip Pushka's season so far, to be honest. Pace, yes. Consistency, yes. And then something happens and he's out of the race. Your heart has to go out to the former Super League champion. SL2 in 2025, just not going his way. Yellow flags out in Sector 2. As Norbert Jakob, he's up to 11th place now. Luke Mitchell just in front. So Mitchell, I think, did gain time there as a result of all those pits. A whole host of guys coming in. Merling, Smith, Lacini in as well. So that puts Mitchell and Jakob back up to 6th and 7th. And still Soriano and Machete yet to go out. Yellow flags in Sector 1. Mediums for Knox. I also saw mediums for Smith as well. So these guys will be stopping once again. Two-stopper seems to be the favourite unless these guys are prepping for some rain to come, which again, it may well do.
It is likely to come in 15 minutes. It's pretty heavy, I would say. It will be heavy enough to actually change for Inters. It's interesting how Soriano and Machete stayed off the pits. If they are going for a two-stop, right now they are going fairly long. I think the smartest thing for them is to not set the medium tire right now, is to set the soft tire. So you win all the time possible before the rain, and maybe it's just the optimal thing.
Yeah, maybe. We'll wait and see. We've also lost Matthias Canapino. There was a few yellow flags out, so that may have been that one. Soriano currently running 1:48.5 lap times, which is still really good pace. So maybe he's just happy on the tyres. Maybe he's just not worried. If you don't need to come in, there's no point coming in, is there? Let's see what happens to Matthias Canapino. That's down at Stavolo. Runs very, very deep on the curb. Comes back onto the track way too late and eats the wall. Yeah. Sorry, Matthias, that's you messed up a little bit there, mate. That's a real shit. Matthias, another driver who's having an up and down season as Soriano's in. He's gone very long in his pit box, but will still get the tyres changed. Set of mediums for him, so he commits for the two-stop as well. As is that, who was that coming in? I believe that was I'm not entirely sure who that was. Luke Mitchell's leading the race. What? Yeah. He's jumped them all. The undercutters work. Luke Mitchell's leading here in Spa. Goodness me. Patchko Magnussen on warm tyres in between himself and your cab as well, although that's not going to last very long. Magnussen still fighting. There's more lap traffic. In fact, this is all three of our front runners going three abreast down the Kemmel Straight. Patchko Magnussen briefly leads the race. Mitchell goes from first to third. Norbert Jakab back to the lead. And Soriano has lost out big time staying out, as has Machete, who's down in 8th place at the moment. And the KV86 powerhouse guys, Magnussen and Watson 2nd and 5th. I think Magnussen's probably going to get a post-race penalty for that incident with Agustin Canapino. Meanwhile, though, Amari Watson, who of course will be taking the checkered flag and the winner's trophy at the end of this one, he's up to P5. I told you I'm good at predicting things, didn't I? Let's see what the KV86 guys have in their locker. They could be setting themselves up for the one stop. We know that Magnussen is on a set in the mediums. Watson's still on the soft tyres, though, so anyone's guess what's going on there. And yeah, he's one of the last guys up the front of this pack who still is yet to box off of the softs on lap 13 of 36. He's gone very, very deep into this opening stint, has the Briton. So we'll wait and see if he's going to come into the pits at the end of this one. Maybe he'll stay out and do another lap as well. So your cab now leads from Patchko Magnussen, or should I say Luke Mitchell, but Magnussen's going to bang wheels with him as they come through the bus stop. Well, that has cost Luke Mitchell nearly 3 seconds as they come across the line. And Jose Soriano right with them as well. So Soriano up the inside of Magnussen goes to 2nd. Or goes to 3rd, should I say. So Soriano now in P3 will have the DRS as well. It's not a great exit out of the last source, but with the DRS and the push to pass against the hopeless Luke Mitchell, this will be one of the easiest overtakes you'll see all day. Goes the long way around. Mitchell doesn't even try and defend it. He knows it's inevitable what's going to happen. Here comes Patrick and Magnussen, though. Look at the straight line speed of that KV86 car. He's still yet to pit as well. Mitchell ultimately closes the door, though. Magnussen gives him that room. So while these guys are fighting, as Machete's trying to work his way through Lucas Murdo and nearly finds the wall at Les Combes and will drop down, potentially behind Dominic Koroshavin, just about stays in front. It's all chaos here after the opening pit stops. Norbert Jakab has been handed a very nice little 2.5 second lead, but we know that Soriano's got a lot of pace on board that Netrex car, but he has not shown his full hand yet. He is sitting in there patiently, playing the long game, not showing what he's got in his locker. And in the likes of Machete, struggling after doing so well in that opening stint. Magnussen's in 4th, yet to pit, and the rain still hasn't come yet, Carlos Martin. It's all to play for here at Spa.
Rain in 12 minutes, that's what my radar says. I think many drivers did a mistake here. All the ones that went for a long soft run. As we see Murner just going for the attack on Chris Butcher. Now he will try to go through the bus stop ahead. Yes, he will make it stake. I think Butcher is struggling, and I think he's banking it on the rain, to be honest. As we see, fastest lap from Jose Soriano. I think personally, everyone who pitted late, like Machete and Soriano, they should have set the soft. Like the radar says, it's going to rain in 12 minutes. You will have had the advantage of getting rid of the soft more or less when the rain comes. And now you will just need to cut down a real gap of 2.2 seconds more or less what it is right now. So I think they got a strategic advantage, but I think unless it doesn't rain, but my radar says it's going to be rain and tire change.
Well then. Let's keep your eyes on the skies because, well, we've already had the gloves off. It could be getting even more spicy here at Spa. Butcher is 100% gambling on the rain. The Lunark was nowhere near the top 10 in qualifying, nowhere near the top 10 for the majority of the race. He's yet to box. He is just waiting, praying that the racing gods send a few drops from up above and the clouds again lingering. And rain at Spa here, it can just come out of nowhere as well. It's very, very hard to predict weather here as it is. Again, everyone here at the moment is in the blind. All the weather apps are saying something completely different. We know that there is a patch of rain currently north of the circuit, but that's the one that we think is going to be hitting in 12 minutes. But you get this bizarre thing here in the Ardennes, but sometimes the rain just appears. It's a bit similar to the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife actually, as Machete has to go the long way around on Butcher at the bus stop. He is defending for position, bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there, but he does finally decide to bite the bullet and come into the pits. And look at how much, there's just no grip left. There's no rubber left on those tyres. Didn't have any other option there. But yeah, the rain, it can just come in and can sometimes just get absolutely crazy. As yeah, we're looking as well at Carlos Martin. It looks like, although it will be light rain, if the rain does come soon, it is going to be raining pretty consistently for the rest of the race, so it will probably be intermediate tyres as Oscar Soltero makes his way through James Knox. That'll be P6 there. So if the rain is coming in 12 or so minutes, probably closer to 10 now, you got to be thinking, when do you transition onto the inters? Because that could be the stop that decides the race.
I don't think, I mean, it looks like light rain, but I think it is more heavy than what it seems. I think they will just, once the rain starts, I think with 2 laps, take in mind this is a very long track, and if you skip 1 lap, then the next one can be extremely tricky. So I really expect the drivers just go 1 or 2 laps, well, 2 laps probably, since it starts raining. With the current forecast, this might be changing, and every team is just checking everything. Right now, my radar says it's in immediate rain, like it should just start to happen anytime soon. So yeah, let's see how. Yeah, well, now the gods of Air Factor. Yeah, there is rain. Yep. There is rain already. There is 1% rain, which is almost nothing. Yeah. But rain is already starting to hit the track.
Here we go then. Grab your popcorn, ladies and gents, because it is about to get real. The rain, it's only light, but you can see on the Netrex car of Harry Smith on the monocoque, you can see dashes and dots as it starts to descend from the skies. And boy, oh boy, this is going to get very, very interesting. On lap 17 of 36, you have to time this perfectly. And as you said, Carlos, a very, very long lap here. And if anything, it's better going on the intermediate slightly too early than slightly too late. Because if you decide to stay out for 1 lap longer and then the rain gets really heavy, you're screwed. Your race is done there and then. And you're going to be, you know, a 3-minute lap time trying to keep it on the tarmac. As Harry Smith there loses out to Robin Merling, in fact. So Merling, the German, moves up to P8 for rookie.
No. Harry's attacking Robin.
Oh, Harry's attacking. Apologies, Ian.
Yeah.
Harry wasn't able to get the move done there, should I say, but Robert Merling in 8th. Regardless of that, still having a fantastic race at the moment is the German. Up the front, your cab leads by just under 2 seconds from Jose Soriano. Luke Mitchell just about holding onto that 3rd place from Lucas Murno as it stands, with Ruben Machete in P5. Murno as well, something we haven't really talked about in this race. Again, relatively new to the True North stable after making the switch away from Fusion Racing, but doing a very, very good job at the moment. Didn't qualify too well, unfortunately, but he's made his race run very, very strong. As you can see just how much rain is starting to fall now. Murno to the outside. He's on the soft tyres as well. He's played this very, very smartly. going onto the softs for this second stint. Murno is in prime condition to be a bit of an upset there. I think he qualified about P10 off the top of my head.
11th.
A very quiet first stint. Was it 11th? Sorry, Carlos.
Yeah, no problem. I think Lucas just did what he had to do. Just set the soft tires. There was a high risk of imminent rain, and if you pit, you just need to go for the softer compound, which it gives you the best performance. Rain intensity is pretty high. It's not to pit very soon, but the lap times are already dropping a lot. And we see the first pit stoppers. Wow, that was very unexpected. The lap times only dropped 2 seconds. I think this is too soon from Mirko Lucchini. As we see Harry Smith right now going through Ruben Möhling, achieving this P8. And this is important because track position right now is extremely critical. We see Agustin Canapino also suffering here in P11 right now. And yeah, Mirko just pulled the trigger, which will be interesting to keep an eye at, and I will actually keep an eye on his second sector, but I think this was a pretty soon move, too soon, I would say. I think in a pair of laps then yes, but right now it's too soon.
Well, to be fair, Lucchini was he's quite far down the order. I mean, only 5 cars currently are going to be finishing outside the points because we've had 10 DNS. We've also lost Dominic Koroshavin now, so I wonder if maybe Lucchini, who was just at the back end of the points, was thinking, let's just take a gamble and see what happens here. If I miss out, you know, it's going to be raining. There's a chance.
Oh,
Other people. Wow! Norbert Jakob from the race lead. That is an early call. All right then. Jakob into the pits for the Inters. That's a big one. Let's see if anyone else follows him in. The rest of the leaders are staying out. Only one driver is on the intermediates. It's Mirko Lucchini. I'm just going to pull up his lap times now, see what he's doing.
This was the lap. I'm seeing the sectors from Lucchini. And Lucchini in sector 2, it was doing 49.3. And some of the drivers are starting to do 50s. And Soriano did 48 the previous lap. So I think it is the moment. We will see. We will wait for Jose. Well, we see Daniel Scott just going for it as well. This is probably the crossover point right now. Well, we see a lot of drivers just going for it right now. And we will need to see the lap time from the Spaniard driver. But it looks like it was the right moment to actually pit. It was 1 lap later than what Lucchini did.
Well, right now, if he's played this perfectly, Norbert Jakob, that could be the race win there and then. On lap 19 to 36. And,
I think he nailed it. I think really he nailed it.
He may have just got that perfectly bang on. Victor Borley's also in the pit. I mean, he's the first driver really out of the front runners to come in as well. So everyone else still out there on the slicks, and he is gaining time on Soltero now. So I think Norbert Jakob has absolutely smashed that pit stop decision. It may have been a late call. Soriano, you can see the rain falling now. Surely the Spaniard in this lap. And yes, he will be. Make sure he doesn't cross the white line on the way into the pits. But I think he will be losing that lead to Norbert Jakob and will be losing.
He lost 2.5 seconds. He lost 2.5 seconds. Important here, taking into account who is coming into the pits. You cannot rejoin. He already almost had an incident by rejoining before, so he needs to keep an eye who is going through. It looks like everything was fine, and Norbert Jakob just takes a net lead, probably with 5-second gap over Soriano. And this is the key moment, and we will see if the 5 seconds more or less. We will see. This is not over. 16 laps is a long time. A lot of decisions that can actually happen. Tire management as well. Experience in the rain, if you practice it or not. So this is not over. And I will tell you, in 15 minutes, there is what the application calls, there is light rain, moderate rain, heavy rain, and violent rain. There is almost violent rain in 12 minutes.
And Amari Watson's on the wets. Was that the wets I scored? No, he's on the softs. It was briefly the wets there for Amari Watson. Looks like R Factor 2 deciding to play some tricks on us. I was going to say, he looked like he was prepping. He definitely flashed up as wet there on our screen for a second. I'm not going insane, I promise. I know I have my moments sometimes. As you can see, puddles starting to form at the side of the track as well. Rigota's spun at the top of Radion. That is the worst place to go around, but rejoins with no issues. Down in P19, though, as a result of that one. Did he touch a curb or did the car bottom out? Let's have a look. I'd be surprised if the car bottomed out. Let's see, gets that curb. Oh, the rear just lets go. And actually gets a bit of airtime as well. Nice from Rigota. And does he kiss the wall? I think he may have just stayed out of it. Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be surprised if he bottomed out. The diameter of the wet and the intermediate tyres is actually slightly more than the slicks. So the car sits slightly higher in wet conditions. So bottoming out is much less of a risk as a result. Here's Machete on Luke Mitchell, should I say, to the outside into the bus stop, going a long way round.
Wow.
Gets it done. Lovely, lovely move there by the championship leader as it stands. And he'll take P4. Luke Mitchell drops down to P5. He's been running in and out of the podium places so far this race. The race of his season, undoubtedly. But may possibly be dropping down to P6 because Soltero behind as well. Looking dangerous as it stands. So, Carlos then, violent rain. You mentioned violent rain earlier, according to your radar. If we do get that violent rain, how long is it going to last for? Is it a case for full wets potentially, or are you just going to have to try and stay out on the intermediates?
It's not a long. It's not a long duration. It should be like 5 minutes. Oh, Ruven! Oh, the championship. We need to think on the championship here, Ruven. I almost think the track is close for. Oh, Harry Smith is out!
Whoa.
Harry Smith is out of the race. And I was mentioning this. It's important to think on the championship. This is the first DNF from Harry Smith this season. Probably an incident at Eau Rouge. And let's see. Oh wow, yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, the traction is very complicated in these conditions. He just steered a bit more to the inside and then just completely lost it.
as well. Only 18 cars left now. Could be that every finisher in this race gets points if we're not careful. A real shame for Harry Smith there. I think the rear of the car must have just got light. Coming over the top of Radion. As you can see, it is properly wet now. And you know what?
It's very close to full wets right now. It's very close.
Yeah, we've suddenly got an absolute war of attrition on our hands. Who has the cojones? Who has the ability to read the rain? It is anyone's guess here at Spa with about 14 laps left on the clock. Norbert Jakab leads by 4.5 seconds. But it could all change in the blink of an eye. The True North driver, a handful of race victories this year. We know he has experience, maybe not so in GPVWC compared to others, but that experience from endurance racing will surely be a benefit to the Hungarian right now. As you can see, look at how wet it is at Lake Com. Yeah, we may be seeing some people take a gamble on full wets very shortly. This could get absolutely chaotic here. Man, oh man. And your cab's lead as well. Soriano clearly more confidence because Soriano, the gap's down to 3.5 seconds now after just one sector. Soriano is miles quicker in these conditions at the moment. His last lap was only a 10th quicker. In fact, his sector 1 was actually a bit slower than your cab's. But the sector 2 must have just been massive as Soltero gets all crossed up coming through No Name. It just goes to show you run slightly wide, you kiss a curb, you catch the wrong patch of water, you kiss a white line even, and it could be race over.
Rogoza on wets.
Tricky. Yeah,
Rogoza on wets.
Be full wets.
Let's see the lap times from Rogoza. He will just indicate what is the best thing. Yeah, I mean, Soreno can race as fast as he wants, but Norbert has a good comfort of gap because of the good decisions he made. And Soltero right now will have the opportunity to jump up to P5. Clearly, the King's racing car is struggling a bit. Wow! We can see how difficult these conditions are right now. And probably these higher downforce setups are helping a bit. And we see how difficult it is to steer the car here. And when they lack so much for traction, it's absolutely nuts right now. Important to keep the car on track. Yeah, not finishing will not give you any point, and we know how difficult it will be to recover those things in the championship. It will open a chance to Norbert Jakob to jump back into the championship, as we see a yellow in sector 3. We see how hard it is to battle these things, and now overtaking is more difficult, as we see Oscar Soltero will go for the move, goes for the inside, makes it easy right before the braking zone. We see how deep the spray is. Wow, oh, he loses it, and there's contact, he goes to the wall, loses the front wing. Oh, this is so bad for Oscar Soltero, and he will just need to pit and change the tires probably, and just gamble in it.
Yeah, that's got to be, you got to go full wets, Oscar, there, surely. What a shame he made the mistake. Mitchell had nowhere to go except run into him and send him into the wall, costing him his front wing, which he then dragged halfway across the circuit as well, by the looks of things. Wonder if there's damage to Luke Mitchell's car as well. So you can see they're rigging out just nowhere for Luke Mitchell to go. And yeah, into the wall. Lucky that there wasn't any more major damage there, as you'll see the front wing flying across the circuit for some reason. So Soltero will surely be coming in for a set of the wet tyres. Magnus is in. Amari Watson's out. No! Oh, it's Amari Watts over. That's a real shame for the KV86 driver. And he was on the inters. Victor Borley's in the pits as well. The leader stays out, as does Soriano. No, Soriano in. Jose Soriano is making the move for full wet tyres. Lucas Murno stays out, so it's now a True North 1-2, but they're on the inters. Soriano goes wet, as does Machete. Machete in behind as well. We've said earlier that Norbert Jakob, Machete's not just hit his virtual pit crew, he's hit some of the virtual pit equipment as well. It must be soaking in that pit lane. We said earlier, Carlos, as Luke Mitchell also in. Is he got another set of inters, or is that just failing to update?
No. It's just failing to update. I think it's just failing to update. It's coming a huge amount of rain right now, and it's already good enough for the wets. I mean, I guess the gamble from Norbert and Lucas is to completely stay on track, not react, probably lose the position and let the others pit again to swap to the inters. But let's see the sectors from the True North drivers. If they want to contest for the win, I think they don't have to react to it. Is it feasible to not react to it? It's very difficult conditions, as we see Machete is struggling for grip, and that's on the full wets. Imagine on the inters right now.
Yeah, this is more akin to boat racing rather than a car race, isn't it? It is proper soaking, and even the full wet conditions, or the full wet tyre, should I say, the extreme wets as they're sometimes known, even they are struggling here at Spa. It is proper rain, old school style racing. And well, I mean, unless they come in this lap, you know,
Soriano
it's
is 2 seconds faster in sector 2 only.
I mean, and I think what the True North guys, I guess, are trying to do is just hope this really heavy rain passes. No, they're coming in now. Your cab comes in. Murno will surely be in behind as well. We said earlier on that they made...
He might lose the position, eh? Yeah. He might lose the position to Soriano.
I think so. He's going to lose the position to Soriano.
It will be very close. It will be very close. It will be fighting neck to neck.
There is Soriano. Your cab coming out of the pit lane now, and he will just about have the lead. Yeah, he's going to be okay. I think he's just about got away with that one. Oh, breathe a sigh of relief. Norbert Jakob is still in the clear. The Hungarian still leads this race with 11 or so laps left to run in the proper wet conditions here at Spa. It was the opposite of last year. In fact, last year was a wet to dry race. of course, we saw Sandeep Singh taking a gamble, staying on the inters to the end, and taking a fantastic victory. This time, dry to extremely wet. Sandeep Singh won last year.
It was Alex who won.
No, it was Sandeep who won last year.
Oh, I'm getting confused. I don't have the website to back this up, but
I can. This isn't me getting it wrong. I can absolutely tell you with 100% conviction Sandeep Singh won last year. And do you know why I know that Sandeep Singh won here last year? It's because Alex Laho is washed, right? So that's the reason why Sandeep Singh won. As there we see Federico Russo. Look at the spray coming down the Kemmel Straight. Soltero does go into P8 there. Surely people can't see a thing. Maybe red flag conditions even, in fact. It's so bad, but we race on regardless.
We don't.
Canapino gets sideways coming out of Lake Colm into Bruxelles. This is properly wet, Carlos Mans. At this point, I guess it's turn and pray and hope you stay on the tarmac.
Yeah, right now these conditions, a mistake like damaging the car or whatever can be very costly, and we saw it with Soltero. Soltero was giving a second chance right now in P8, but he was in P5, so right now the best thing he can contest for, I would say, is for P7. This race is completely chaotic, hectic, and I would say the race lead is not decided yet, but these full wet tires, they get degraded very fast. You need to nurse them very much, and if the drivers do not acknowledge this, they will struggle a lot. And I can see how the gap is growing between Jakob and Soriano right now, and this is extremely important how you manage them. Question is 10 laps to go. Is it the way to not pit anymore? Do you actually go for the inters, or how do you manage this until the end of the race?
I think it just depends really on the track conditions. I mean, with 10 to go, and looking at how wet it is now, I think it's probably just worth just sticking on the wets to the end, unless the track magically dries up immediately. I think it's probably worth just sticking to the wets in the end. The wets, they are struggling at the moment, but they seem to be doing okay. If anyone from Pirelli's watching, take notes. But yeah, I think at this point, it's just you got to stay on the wets to the end, unless anyone fancies a gamble. We've got 17 cars now left in this race. Maybe make that 16 as Chris Butcher slides his way through the right-hander there, coming out of Lake Colm. Doesn't hit the wall, but talk about Tokyo Drift. That was pretty cool, but it did cost him a position. Down to 11th goes the Lunark driver. Oh, goodness me. I mean, we are witnessing some fantastic car control here. And if anybody tells you that people in GPVWC Superlights aren't talented, just look at how these drivers are coping with the conditions. Yes, it has caught a fair few out, but there are plenty out there at the moment who are just showing just how good they are behind the wheel of a virtual racing car. It is unbelievable what we're seeing right now. As we head on to lap 27, that's someone round in the background. Believe Daniel Scott has had a spin. As we'll wait and see. Yes, he has. He's lost a whole host of time, but he's still in the race. And yes, it was Daniel Scott in the Rookie Monsters car, who got a little bit sideways, but he's managed to rejoin the race. Don't think there's any damage to that Rookie Monsters machine. As we'll go back to following Chris Butcher for the time being. In the sole remaining Lunark, after Jack Nicholls DNF'd on the first lap again. We have a lot of DNFs. There's only 17 or 16 drivers left now, should I say. That's Alexander Agotza, who's now out of the race. A lot of those were called out before the rain hit as well, so it's not just the rain catching people out. It's been a chaotic day at Spa here in general. And I mean, we spent like a good 2 laps just watching replays of people crashing and people finding the wall and having issues. So it's, very much a war of attrition. If we have one more time, and everyone who's still running is in the points, by the way, it's been one of those ones, shall we say. Oh, I love GPVWC sometimes, but it can get a bit silly. But still, we race on as we attempt to make out anything in the spray down the Kemmel Straight as the cars emerge into Lake Colm. And it is proper wet here. And Carlos, I don't know what the rain is doing per se, but the track doesn't look like at the moment it's getting any drier. So I think we're going to be staying wet to the end here.
I will tell you right now, the track is being hit with the highest intensity of rain. It is hitting, for the drivers to know, it's hitting 42% of it. Like, that's the hardest I've seen in a long time. It's very, very, very wet. I think most of the drivers need to nurse the tires to actually make it to the end. And this is not easy at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a proper Spa race. I'll put it plain and simple. You know, this is weather. This is proper racing, but it is just so tricky out there. As Chris Butcher once again, bit of a wobble as he heads through Stavolo. There's still a tyre there. Was that from Matthias Canapino when he went off and crashed there? Apparently, the virtual marshals have just completely forgotten there's a 50-kilo tyre just sat there, but you know, you do you, whatever, mate. If someone hits that and dies, that's your fault. Yeah, really tricky conditions out there at the moment, and I think it's right now just about survival, just about trying to stay on the tarmac, keep the car pointed in one direction, and just keep doing your thing as well, as we continue to follow Chris Butcher going round. And can he find anything on the drivers in front? Looks like Canapino, Augustin Canapino, is maybe trying to set a move up on Federico Russo. Gets very sideways coming up the hill though. Is that going to hurt his momentum? Has he got any push to pass to try and use as well? He certainly has the slipstream. Augustin Canapino trying to look E9. Does he make it? He pulls to the inside until Lecon, but decides against it ultimately. But is very, very close. Again, it's really, you got to make the overtake there, or that's about it, because in these wet conditions, it's just tricky to stay on the racetrack, Carlos, yet alone make an overtake.
Yes, and I wanted to mention, well, Soriano is not able to keep up the pace with Norbert Jacob, and he's actually losing a lot of time to Lucas Murno. So I would say the Spaniard driver will need to think to be more into the defensive end rather than the offensive end. Oh. Yeah, did we miss you? Yeah, no worries. As we see, Agustin Canapino going for the inside into Federico Russo, makes the move stick. Probably Federico Russo is struggling a lot on these tires right now, and we can see how much of a gap he just created right now. And he's not the only one who is struggling with these tires. We can see Soriano is struggling a lot, losing a lot of time to the True North drivers, and this is gonna be the battle for the P2. Right now, behind Russo, there is Butcher, very close, just 2 tenths behind here. Russo will need to defend from here. We're seeing the onboard. Chris Butcher now will try to do a move into turn 1, maybe. He does the switch back here. Good traction here for the Luna driver. Will try to make it stick as soon as he can. Maybe he waits for the long straight that awaits of the camel name. Here he goes wide to take good traction, and we see how his power sliding here even in 4th gear. He will need to just take it a bit easier. Just goes a bit of clean vision here. Goes fairly close. Oh, he almost loses it. He almost loses it here in Eau Rouge and the Radillon, and I don't think he's close enough to actually make a chance now. No. So he will need to wait for the next opportunity.
Yeah, pulls out of the spray there just to try and get some vision, try and gauge where the corner is. Yeah, just lost that momentum heading up the hill there. Yeah, unfortunately that was the end of that attempted move for Chris Butcher, but there's moments where Butcher looks like he could be trying to get through Russo, get into the top 10. But yeah, just not quite happening at the moment. The conditions just catching him out here and there as he makes his way through. No name, small mistake there from Russo. Can he try and find a way through? No, not quite. As we head through Puom down to 7th gear in these conditions, and well off the pace compared to what we'd be running in the dry, to put it mildly. Again, it's like an absolute river out there. You can just see the track is soaked, and if you touch a curb, you touch a bit of grass, you touch some AstroTurf, that could be curtains on your race on lap 30 of 36 here. Mistake there for Russo, another big one. Butcher has to get out of it. as a result, but he will still have more momentum. Could be going side by side into Blanchimont. This can't work in these conditions, surely. Chris Butcher, the long way round. That is special, Chris Butcher, to get up to P10. Take a bow, son. Brilliant, brilliant move. Superb bravery and capitalizing on the mistakes of others. Chris Butcher gets into the top 10 for Lunark with a very, very fine move indeed. Up the front, meanwhile, it is still Norbert Jakab that leads this race from Soriano. Murno, I believe, is catching Soriano a little bit, but as it stands, with only a handful of laps left to go, it is not going to be enough, as it could well be. This is the order we finish this race in, as Chris Butcher. Can he maybe try and catch Agustin Canapino? That would be great if he could get into P9, but we'll wait and see. And this is the only real action we've got on the track right now. Everyone else splits up just a little bit by the chaos and the rain with what's that, 16 cars left. That's 14 DNFs in this one. That, I think, is a season record so far. And again, the likes of lots of people getting caught out by the rain. Amari Watson says there was an issue in the pit lane. There was damage to the car as a result. I believe they made contact with someone, and they were so far back they decided to just save the engine, call it there. It's never been more what's over than it is now. But we still race on. There's still 16 cars left to go. If you're Victor Borley and you're the one finisher who doesn't get points, you're probably going to be quite annoyed by that, aren't you? As there is Lucas Murno, and he is catching Soriano, actually, who I think's made a pretty big mistake somewhere on the last lap. Yeah, 9/10 was the lap advantage to Murno on the last lap. If he keeps doing that, it could well, Carlos Martin, be a true North 1-2 here come the checkered flag.
Yeah, it could be it could really be, because the trend is that, like, Soriano is able to pull some good laps, but then he's struggling to be consistent. That's what I would say. Yeah, he clearly lacks top speed as well, so I think the true North here, as we see a big slide here, I think here Soriano is probably pushed the tires a lot to try to get this extra position from Norbert Jakab, which he didn't, and now he's just paying the price. With these conditions, less is more, ironically, especially with these tires that are extremely sensitive to thermal degradation.
Yeah, absolutely. It can get very, very warm very, very quickly, those tires, and especially when these wets overheat as well. The rubber starts to move around and affects the tread pattern, and they're just impossible to cool back down, and then basically you're driving around on full bricks, quite frankly, which, well, funnily enough, don't have a lot of grip in these conditions. Well, bricks don't have grip in any conditions, I suppose, but regardless, yeah, overheating wet tires, even marginally for a brief moment, it's basically you've got to come in and get a new set, because there is no point driving around on those tires, which is why when rain starts to dry out, and it's similar with the intermediates to less of a degree, and obviously, you know, you can do the whole slick to medium thing or whatever. That's why when rain starts to dry out, you get a dry line forming, you see drivers darting over to the opposite side of the racetrack, the dirty side of the racetrack, so to speak, which still is wet because it cools the tires off. So the tires don't deform, you don't lose the treading, you keep the tire temp where it needs to be, and you keep your grip as well. We're not seeing that here at the moment because it is still very much wet conditions still. And so yeah, so right now it's going to be wet to the end of the race. I don't think anyone's going to be having any tyre issues come the end of that one. Under 3 seconds now separating Murno and Soriano, separating True North from a 1-2 and a P1, P3. There is the Spaniard, who will still be leading the championship, or actually will take the championship lead if he finishes in second and Machete finishes fourth. If they finish third and fourth, I think they're equal, or I think Machete has...
No, Machete 1 point advantage.
Yeah.
Machete
yeah, so
1 point advantage, yeah.
So it's very close anyway. So Soriano, for a championship's sake, will want to hold on to that P2, but right now Murno has got the pace advantage over him. Last lap was a 4/10 quicker lap Although Sector 1 Murno on this lap was actually a tenth of a second slower than Soriano, so keep your eye on that one. But of course, even when the championship is so close like it is now, in reality, it's like 3 points at the moment. It doesn't matter who's really leading the championship when it's this tight. But to say that you are the championship leader, it's just a little bit of a psychological advantage to yourself. You go, yeah, look at me, I'm leading the championship. And obviously everyone else sees you as the championship leader. It's a bit of a psychological threat to them as well. So that could be something we need to keep our eye on here. But as we're about to go into lap 32, or 33, should I say, in a brief moment. There it is now. And yeah, we'll see the lap time. Soriano and Murno, the gap has come down once again. It's now 2.4 seconds. That last lap only a tenth quicker for Murno. I think Murno may have made a mistake here, or not even a tenth quicker, should I say. So it could well be that Soriano holds on here. It all depends on what the pace of the Brazilian Lucas Murno is going to do, Carlos.
I mean, Murno is pushing, because when I compare the sectors from Murno to Jakab, which they have a very similar car, you can see that Murno is being faster in Sector 3. That tells me that he's using the battery of his car to get more pace. There is extra, these 100 seconds that you have available in this series to overtake. You can also use them to increase your pace, and we can see Soriano here struggling with the rear end of the car. We can see how it's wobbling and how it's even sliding on the entry. It's important to adjust the front wing levels when you enter the pits, switching to the wet tires, and probably the balance is more critical in the rear, and you want to decrease it. And rain intensity, it keeps very strong right now. It's keeps raining 20%. It's obviously lower than what it was before, but it's still very high. 3 laps to go. One mistake could happen, and I don't think Soriano is safe. The good thing is Machete, yeah, before he's losing points to Soriano and to True North, might be the case that True North will be leading the Constructors' Championship after this race. There is a big chance. I will need to do the calculations. But at the end, Machete is in a more or less good spot, because as we see Soltero struggling there for traction in the middle of Pujon, because he's not under pressure of anywhere. He doesn't need to do pressure on Murno, and also need to doesn't feel the pressure from Mitchell. So at least he's not sweating to bring the car home tonight.
No.
Wow!
Goodness me. Wow. That is Soltero, yeah, clearly putting safety to the side late in the race. He really wants to try and catch up to the back of Robin Merling, doesn't he? Can the rookie monsters driver hold on to take P7? James Knox P6 as well. That's a good finish for him. Luke Mitchell will somehow be disappointed with 5th if he stays there at the end of this one, which is in the context of the season, is a fantastic result for himself and the Kings Racing squad. But in the context of the race, I think he'll be quite upset with that. Actually, he spent most of the race up in the podium positions as these guys go on to lap 34, soon to be 2 to go when the leaders next cross the line. And then, of course, the likes of Jakab, Soriano, Murno. I think Soriano will be safe for P2, eyeballing it now. But like you said, Carlos, all it takes is to dip one wheel onto a curb or hit a puddle wrong, or even touch a white line, and your race can come undone in these conditions in the blink of an eye. The spray a little bit better than it was earlier, so track conditions are slightly better, but still full wet. And again, if anyone's pitting for intermediates now, they are a fool. So yeah, don't do that. And it should be, oh my goodness me, Oscar Soltero.
This kid is just valiant. He really wants this P7.
Yeah, that's one way to say it. I'd say that he's an absolute madman, because quite frankly, at this point, you know,
Wow.
you're just going to be thinking, look, P8's not bad in these conditions. I'm pretty happy. It's a good set of points. A lot of people haven't finished this race. Let's just play it safe, bring the car home. Nope, Soltero's like, no, I'm either going to get P7 or I am going to put myself in a wall at 200 kilometers an hour while trying to.
That's fair.
And I've got to respect it. I absolutely have to respect that determination, but like I said, you may find yourself upside down in a grandstand at 200 kilometers an hour, which is, funnily enough, not the way that you want to finish a race. But let's see. Right now, he's had several sideways moments over the last couple of laps and is still on the black stuff.
Yellow.
As I say that, yellow flags out in Sector 2.
Soriano on the gap.
And oh yeah, this is Murno maybe on Soriano within a second now. So Soriano has made a huge mistake somewhere. Lap time last time, yeah, 1.5 seconds slower than Murno on the last lap. So he made a huge mistake somewhere. And with 2 to go, realistically 1.5, Lucas Murno could be in for his second place here. True North could be on for a 1-2. Can Soriano hold his bottle? Does Murno have the pace to try and get through?
I mean, is it worth the risk? I think True North is in a spectacular position to gain so many points in the championship. Here, DNFing or getting damage and not securing this, I think it would be, as we see, Soriano is not enjoying his time right now. And that is very clear that the tires are probably at the edge of their life as well. And yeah, Soriano opened the gap again, but is it really worth to actually risk the biscuit for a gain on? Yeah, well, Netrix is one of the rivals as well, but I think they will be very happy with the current result.
I think they would be, but you know, you can always look to improve and always look to go further. It's Soriano, another big mistake. They start their final lap of the race now. Soriano, that was really sideways.
Oh, no, he's gonna lose it. He made a huge mistake now. He made another one. These slidings are so bad for the tire temperatures. And for sure, he will be at risk now.
Well, we'll wait and see as we head through Eau Rouge and Radion for the final time on board with Murno. Is he close enough? Has he got any push to pass to use on Jose Soriano for an attempt into Les Combes? I don't think he really looks to the inside. Maybe tries to fill the mirrors of the Spaniard, but has to hold station for the time being. Norbert Jacob has just got to finish this lap to win this race, but it's all eyes on the battle between the final podium places in Bruxelles. For the final time we go, Murno takes the wet line, tries to run wide, get the momentum out of the corner. Soriano with the much more traditional inside line into no-name. That's really, really deep from Soriano. This could be the opportunity, but not enough momentum for Lucas Murno for a look into Pouon as they come through. I think, Carlos, Lucas Murno now is relying on a mistake from the Spaniards.
No. He will have a chance into the bus stop. And let's remember, Murno has the higher top speed here. So if he gets a good exit of Stabilo, he might have the chance.
Well, we'll wait and see as they come out of Stabilo now. Bit of a kick of oversteer for Soriano, but a good exit, it must be said, on the run up to Blanchimont for the final time. Who is going to get second? Who is going to get third? They're both going to be on the podium, but what a battle this is, right down to the wire, heading through Blanchimont. One opportunity left for Lucas Murno. I don't think he's close enough into the bus stop. Soriano will hold on as Norbert Jacob crosses the line and takes a fantastic race victory, which he called the swap to Inters perfectly. Murno is heavy into the wall. Is he even going to make it across the line?
Yeah, he made it.
He will just about as Soriano finishes second. Lucas Murno saw Machete spinning and reversing across the line in Canada and thought, I can do one better. Let's finish with 3 wheels left on the wagon as he gets greedy on the throttle and smashes the inside barrier.
Did they have contact? Soriano and Murno?
P4. No, I think he just gave it a welly full coming out of the final corner. I'm sure we'll get a replay soon. Ruben Machete comes home in 4th and does lose the championship lead to Jose Soriano by the finest of fine margins. Luke Mitchell brings home in 5th place, a battle all the way to the line between Canapino and Merling. Merling gets P8 there by less than a tenth of a second. Photo finish stuff. But we do have a new championship leader, ever so slightly, in the form of Jose Soriano, on board with Murno. And, yep, just goes to 5th and just loses all sorts of traction. And then, well, Lewis Hamilton thought he was cool when he won a race with a flat front right, or front left, should I say. Have you ever won a race, Lewis Hamilton, or finished on the podium missing a front left tyre? I don't think so. Therefore, Lucas Murno is better than Lewis Hamilton. Thank you very much. But it is his teammate, Norbert Jakob, who takes what I believe is his second race victory of the season. And with a fantastic performance, with a brilliant switch onto the intermediate tyre at the perfect time, giving him the advantage that he needed. It got a bit scary on the transition to wets. We thought he might have left the transition onto the wet tyre a little bit too long, but he timed it well enough to take the victory. It is Norbert Jakob that takes the race win. New championship leader, Jose Soriano, is second, as Lucas Murno, P3 on 3 wheels. Ruben Machete is 4th with Luke Mitchell. He'll somehow be disappointed with 5th place. A fantastic result for him. James Nocht in P6, with Oscar Soltero 7th. Robin Merling in P8. Agustin Canapino, the Argentine, is 9th. And Chris Butcher got into P10 with that fantastic move around the outside of Federico Russo. Istvan Single finishes behind the Italian in P12, Daniel Scott 13th, Tom van der Voort 14th, Patrick Magnussen was 15th, and Victor Borley, our only finisher outside of the points in P16, because then we've got 14 DNFs to go through. We lost Alexander Ragozza, Amari Watson, Harry Smith, and Mirko Lacini, all of those guys having issues in the rain. We also lost these guys: Dominic Koroshavin, Matthias Canapino, Philip Pushka, Kurt Rotyov, Mike Quinn, David Krupa, Zolt Sooks, Jack Nichols, Cass Rietveld, and Maxime Bulio. That has got to be an SL2 record for the most DNFs in a race. Surely. Man, oh man, Carlos Martin. That was something.
Yeah, that was an incredible race, but I think there are some races that have been more eventful. I can remember one race at Australia that it was pretty messy. I can also remember maybe Imola last year. We should check about the number of DNFs as well there. And this shows how important it is to have someone that is tracking the sector times and the lap times, and also tracking the amount of rain that is coming, because it's super important for the decision making. Because if it stopped raining when it was the moment of the crossover for the wets, then you should have stayed on the inters, and you will have been 2 extra pit stops for a wrong decision. So it's not easy to do these kind of decisions, and props to the race engineers, who most of them actually did great choices tonight.
Absolutely. What a fascinating race we have just seen. Let's get into our interviews then. And currently waiting for us only is both the True North guys, but we will speak to our race winner first, Norbert Jakob. Norbert, man, oh man, that was a brilliant drive. Tricky conditions, but you've played it perfectly. How was that?
Oh my god, boys. Well, I'm tired. I'm extremely tired. It was a really exhausting race, but I'm super happy with the results, and I'm really glad for my race engineer, because he made the best scores basically throughout the whole race with the strategy. So yeah, basically this race was a masterclass from us.
Yeah, I mean, a team effort, a 1-2 almost. But,
yeah, almost.
Almost, but yeah, a very well executed team effort, as you said. So was it a team call to come into for Inters when it was? Because you guys timed that absolutely perfectly.
So basically, Inters was my personal call. It didn't came from my engineer. He only told me to pit request, put it to Inters and stand by, and I was like, yeah, I think this is now or never. I had a 2.5 second gap, and And based on my previous practice in wet, I knew that we are at the changing point between the two tires, so I had to make it now, and it was an amazing call. So yeah, this one basically wasn't a team effort. That call came from me personally.
Absolutely fair enough. A second race win of the season then for you, and well, it puts you really right up now in the championship fight. And to do it with that absolute masterclass of a race as well, that's got to be something pretty special. So looking forward, I guess now are you thinking more about the championship as we start going to the second half of the race season, or are you still just taking each race as it comes?
Well, at the beginning of the season, I promised Carter, my team principal, that yeah, I will focus on the constructors and I don't give a fuck about the driver's title. But well, it's been a pretty tough story building up for this race. I was actually considering quitting completely before the race because this track was extremely tough to set up the car for, and basically my preparation was a roller coaster. Sometimes I was really confident that yeah, I'm going to win this, and yeah, and sometimes I was like yeah, I'm dead last. So yeah, I still think my main goal is the constructors, even though I know that I'm actually getting closer and closer in the drivers, but I still try to focus on well, basically from race to race. Next up is Hungary, my home race. I think it would be amazing to win that one, but actually we will see, because I won't really have that much time to practice for that, because I will actually attend the Hungarian Grand Prix in real life, so I won't really have that much time to practice for that one.
Fair enough, my friend. Carlos Martin, any questions for our race winner?
First of all, congratulations, Norbert, for the race win. These races are extremely difficult. What can I say? Probably about the management of the wet tires. How was it to manage the wet tires to the end, knowing it was 16 lap long, and those are pretty fragile tires to drive at?
Actually, I was even surprised myself, but the wear on the wets was 2% per lap, like 2.1, 2.2, at least from what I could see from my overlay. And it might be because that I didn't really had to actually push. I was even told by my race engineer that, well, the target lap time is actually 1 second slower than you're actually lapping, so slow down, we don't want you to crash. So basically it was fairly sweet, much better than the Inters, so actually I was even really surprised myself.
Really good. Congratulations, Norbert. You are doing an amazing season. You've won 2 races in a row. Maybe you can do a third one.
Yeah, I think that would be a really challenging one, but yeah, I will try my best actually, and thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Your race winner for the second time this season, Norbert Jakob, with a fine drive. And as he said, team effort, but he was still the one doing the hard work out there on the track. Let's speak to his teammate, Lucas Murno. Lucas, obviously you wouldn't have heard it because you were driving, but I said that Lewis Hamilton has never finished a race on the podium on 3 wheels. So you're better than Lewis Hamilton. What happened coming out of the final corner?
No, I just try to over-accelerating too much, find a grip from the way I didn't have to try to make a final push to the end, but well, all had gone wrong, but in the end, I could finish on 2 wheels on 3rd place, so it combined. It was a good combination with the position and the wheels. Well, by the way, the race itself, I made a silly mistake at the qualifying, which cost me a position in the start on P11. So we have to risk a different strategy to bring the good tires. I was in a good pace, as I got informed from the engineer, who was critical with the car to go in the soft as the second stint, which was the key to get the podium, and I had to adapt myself in the rain conditions. And well, after I knew I could be in the 3rd place, so I tried to reach the 2nd place, seeing that Soriano was losing pace in the end, but I tried my best and I overheat myself a little bit in the end, but well, it is what it is. Sometimes it happens even when it is the final lap. So I pulled myself to make a mistake, but in the end, it doesn't erase the race I did today. So I think it was a great result for True North once again to be in another third place. So it was 100% podium consistent for True North, which is something good. And now I'm tired, but well, I'm now better with my knee. So this time having a good knee was critical also.
Absolutely. When we spoke to our race winner and your teammate Norbert, he said, obviously he spoke about the tricky conditions, and I'm sure it was very difficult for you out there as well. But he talked about how much of a team effort it was from the True North team, making the calls for when to come into the pits. How much do you think that helped you get up to P3 in the end?
Well, it was 100% on it. I owe the podium from the strategy by Osana, who stayed with us and the strategy, and in the end I have to thank him for it. I could reach a great recovery from P11 to a P3 on the track that will, in the ground effect area, was difficult to overtake. So in the end, I could reach a great result, and I hope we can be a little bit closer to fight for a good position in the Constructors' Champ.
Absolutely. Carlos, any questions for Lucas Murno?
First of all, congratulations on the very nice recovery, Lucas. Right now, True North is tied for first in the Constructors' Championship with Optiminal, and followed by Netrex in P2, 4 points behind. So, what is the plan from now on to take this championship home for True North?
I'll try to do the same way we did in the Belgian. We got a good cooperation with each other. We are having a good talks and a good interaction with each other. So I think that was one of the things that was important to make a good stable team and a united team to try to reach the same goal, that is the championship. And now we will try to do another good strategy for the rest of the season, between how we're gonna do the engine moves, we will use, the strategies, the upgrades, everything we hit to plan to keep it the fight and try to bring the title home. Let's hope step by step again, and let's see how it's gonna happen for the next ones. Everything can happen, and this championship is quite I forgot the word.
Interesting.
Damn it. Interesting, yeah. It's very interesting, and it's very messy as well, because every surprise happens in the, every race is very forgot again.
No worries, Lucas. We get what you're trying to say anyway. Yeah, but what a performance. Again, finishing with 3 wheels, not something that everyone can do, and a great third place. So congratulations, a great drive.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Lucas Murno, the other True North driver, who finished in 3rd place, as I said, on 3 wheels. And unfortunately, Carlos, that's all we've got time for with the interviews. But man, oh man, what a race that was. Really, really tricky conditions and some fantastic driving on display.
I need to take something to sleep tonight. that was hectic. The tires, overtaking, right pit stops and everything. As the True North driver said, they did an incredible job with the decision. Let's remember that Murno was on soft tires for the second stint, and that was a tremendous call, knowing that, well, it's also like a gamble, right, to know that the rain was coming. And that's maybe what penalized Soltero, like not pitting in the right laps and choosing the proper tires just made him to not be able to contest for P1. So we have a change on the leader for the driver standing. Soltero now leads the championship by 3 points. And regarding the constructors right now, True North and Optiminal are tied for first place. Optiminal being P1 right now by the tiebreakers, and Netrix is only 7 points. So we have a 3-team way to the championship in the constructors. And for the drivers, yeah, I think it's fair assumption to add Norvegia Cup to the mix.
Absolutely. What a fantastic race we have just seen. Thank you very much for joining us for our action here at Spa for GPVWC Superlights. Of course, on Thursday, you can come and see the Super League guys coming and giving it a go. Carlos, are we expecting any rain for that one? Or
Yeah.
Oh, well, you
Yeah,
can come and see Carlos probably crash in the rain.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I'm
last
sure,
time
I'm
we
sure
raced
you'll
in
be
the
fine.
rain, I crashed. I crashed. It was in Canada. I crashed in the qualifying, so could be.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, very true. Yeah, but let's hope you don't do that. But yeah, you can come and see Carlos and the Super League guys coming out and plying their trade on Thursday evening. For us, though, that is us done and dusted for our action at Spa. Join us next time when we head to the Hungaroring. We'll see you then.